Hi fam, I'm back again today, still under potato production, but focusing on fertilizer application and the recommended application rate for fertilizer in potato production. To begin with, what you need to know is potatoes are considered to be heavy feeders of nutrients, and so what you give the potato is exactly what you get. Okay, so when putting fertilizer, you need to give the amount of nutrients that is required for them to thrive, for them to grow. Okay, and then how many times are you supposed to apply fertilizer in potato production? Depends. If you are not including foliar, then it is just twice. But if you are including foliar, then you are applying 3 times. Okay, so the first one is basal application, which is applied at the time of planting or before planting. And then the second is top dressing. And then lastly, this is when foliar comes in. If you're not including foliar, then you're just applying 2 times. Okay, then what are some of the fertilizers that you can use for basal dressing? Now, this is the most interesting part here. You don't need to apply nitrogen, what, or what. No. What you need at basal dressing is a fertilizer with a high amount of phosphorus. Reason being is phosphorus aids in root development and it gives vigor to the plant. So when you are applying a basal dressing, you need to have a fertilizer that has more of phosphorus in order to help the plant, the potatoes, to develop. Okay, so what are some of the fertilizers that you can apply under basal application? You can apply farmyard manure. If not, you can apply NPK or compound D. And then the application rate is for farmyard manure, it is from 10,000 kg per hectare, 15,000 kg per hectare to 20,000 kg per hectare. And then with compound D, you can apply at, depends with the soil type and the variety of potatoes that you are using. So you can apply 800 kg per hectare or 300 to 400 kg per hectare. Note I have said depends on the soil type that you have. So yeah, it depends with the soil type that you have and the variety of potatoes that you have. So you can apply 300 to 400 kg per hectare or 800 kg per hectare of compounds D. Then you are done with your basal application. Remember I've said it is applied at the time of planting or just before planting. That is when you apply. Then you come to top dressing. Top dressing is usually applied at week 4 or week 5 you can apply, or week 3 after 90% germination of the potatoes you can still apply. Okay, now what are some of the fertilizers that you can use as your top dressing fertilizer? There are a number of them out there on the market. So you can get multi-K, CAN, or calcium ammonium nitrate, that is CAN, and then you can also get potassium sulfate as well as potash, muriate of potash, so that is potash. So those are used for top dressing. And then the recommended application rates for these fertilizers, you can apply 100 kg to 150 kg per hectare. So those can be used for your top dressing in potato production. And then lastly, if you are including your foliar, you can look for growth promoter. If not, you can look for Solucat as your foliar fertilizer. Those. Now, just a note, if you are including foliar or if you are not including, doesn't mean when you are using foliar you should not put your top dressing. If you are including foliar, then you need to do all the 3. If not, then it is just 2. It's not that when you use foliar it replaces the top dressing. No, it is just more like a supplement because it is faster. It's more like a booster. So that is it on foliar fertilizer. Then let me also mention this important practice to having tubers that are, attracting to the public, good looking and everything, you need to earth up your potatoes at least twice. That is enough. If you don't earth up your potatoes, that is now when you end up having results of having tubers that are green, and you will not have markets because people will not buy potatoes that are green unless those who are not aware that the chemical which is in there is poisonous. So you need to earth up your potatoes at least twice so that you avoid having green tubers, because that greenish thing which is there, most of the times we ignore it, but it has very bad effects. You end up having diarrhea, headaches, vomiting. So earth up your potatoes so that you avoid having green tubers. And not only that, it also helps in prevention of losses. So that is all on fertilizer application. I hope this is useful, and I hope you are going to get at least one or two things from it. So from me, it is